The sick child's cry. The wind was cold that night. Very cold. In the small corner of an old alien refugee camp, a mother sat with her child wrapped tightly in a thin cloth. Her name was Lyra. Her arms shook, not from the cold, but from fear. Her child, only 4 years old, was sick. Very sick. He coughed again. A deep, dry sound that came from his chest. His breathing was slow and his body was hot. Too hot. Lyra placed her hand on his forehead. His skin was burning. His little eyes opened for a second, then closed again. Please. Please stay with me, she whispered. No one answered. Not the stars above, not the people around, and not the gods she once believed in. Her child's name was Tiv, a soft child, a quiet one. He never cried much before, but now he was crying weakly, too weak to even call out loudly. Just small, sharp gasps, a sound only a mother would hear. Lyra stood up and wrapped him tighter. She stepped out of the small tent and walked quickly across the broken paths of the camp. Each tent she passed looked the same, dirty, falling apart, and full of tired, hopeless faces. She knocked on the first door. An alien woman peeked out. "Do you have any medicine?" Lyra asked, her voice cracking. "My child has a fever, a bad one." The woman shook her head. "No one has medicine here, try the humans." "The humans don't help us." "Then pray." The door shut. Lyra didn't stop. She knocked again, then again. Every time the answer was the same. No, no, no. One older alien even shouted, "Let the child die, better than suffering like this." Lyra didn't reply. She just ran. Her child's breathing was getting slower. She looked toward the border wall. The humans lived beyond it. Cleaner streets, real clinics, warm buildings. But aliens weren't allowed to cross after dark. Guards shot anyone who tried. Still, she had no choice. She pulled her hood over her head, held Tiv close to her chest, and walked toward the edge of the camp. Her boots stepped in mud, then in snow, then on hard stone. The closer she got to the border, the more quiet everything became, and then suddenly, a light. A spotlight from the watchtower lit her up like a flame in the dark. "Stop!" a voice shouted from above. "Return to your side." She froze. Her arms shook. "My child," she cried, holding Tiv up. "He's dying. Please." No answer, just the red dot of a weapon moving across her chest. But then, a second light appeared. This one came from below. A flashlight. A human man stood near the gate, holding a bag of tools. He wore a red jacket and a tired face. His name was Cole. A mechanic. A man who fixed machines for the border patrol. He looked up, then at her. "What's going on?" he asked the guards. She crossed the line. "She's carrying a child. We told her to go back." Cole looked closer. He saw Lyra holding her boy. "Something's wrong with him," he said, stepping forward. "Don't get involved," the guard warned. But Cole didn't stop. He walked up to the gate. Lyra fell to her knees. "Please, and he's burning up. I don't know what to do. Please." Cole knelt down on the other side of the gate and looked at Tiv. The child's skin was pale blue. His small body didn't move much. His lips were dry. "What's his name?" Cole asked softly. "Tiv." Cole looked up at the guards. "Let me take them in, just to check. He needs help." "Orders are clear," one guard said. "No aliens in human territory after nightfall. He's a child. Then let the medics come in the morning. He won't live till morning." There was silence. Then Tiv let out a low, painful cry. It was not a loud sound, but it broke the silence like thunder. It wasn't just a cry of pain. It was a cry of fear. Cole took a breath. Then he looked at Lyra and whispered, "Run." "What?" "Run. Around the corner. There's a crack in the wall behind the tool shack. I'll meet you there in 5 minutes." "But go. Now." Lyra didn't think. She turned and ran into the shadows. Cole stood and faced the guards. "I'm going. To check the engines, he lied. The guards nodded, but his heart was racing. His mind was screaming. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't know why he was doing it. But deep inside, he just knew one thing. That child was not going to die tonight. The man with the red jacket, Cole, waited until the guards turned their backs. He moved quickly. Snow crunched under his boots as he made his way to the side of the tall border wall. There, hidden between two broken buildings, was a narrow gap, just wide enough for a small person to squeeze through. No one noticed it anymore. No one cared. But Cole had fixed wires there once, and he remembered. As he turned the corner, he saw her, Lyra, crouched behind a metal crate holding her child close. She looked up, her eyes wide with fear and hope. "You came," she whispered. "I said I would." Cole knelt beside her. The boy, Tiv, was shaking. His breathing had grown worse. His skin now had patches of purple. Not good, not normal. Cole placed 2 fingers on the boy's neck. Weak pulse. Barely there. "He needs medicine," Cole said. Lyra nodded, tears in her eyes. "I know, I begged. No one has anything." Cole took off his red jacket and wrapped it around the boy. "We can't take him to a clinic. They'll arrest you. But I know someone. Maybe. Please. I'll do anything." Cole hesitated. Then he picked the boy up gently, careful not to hurt him more. "Follow me. Stay low. Don't talk." They moved through the alleys. Dark, cold, silent. Only the distant hum of generators and the whistle of wind broke the night. They reached Cole's old cargo hauler, a rusty vehicle with patched metal and blinking lights. He laid Tiv on the back seat, then climbed in and started the engine. Lyra sat beside her son, hands shaking. "Where are we going?" she asked. "To Old Town, to find a woman named Dr. Rami." "Is she human?" "Yes, but different. She helps people. Quietly. Off the books." "Will she help aliens?" "She helped me once," Cole said. "She'll help again." The vehicle flew low above the frozen ground. The roads were empty. No patrols, just darkness. Lyra looked at Cole's face as he drove. He had a small scar on his cheek and a tired look in his eyes, like someone who had seen too much but still hadn't given up. "Why are you helping us?" she asked softly. Cole didn't answer right away. His hands tightened on the wheel. "I had a sister," he said. "She died because nobody wanted to help. They all waited too long." Lyra looked down at her son. "I understand." They reached Old Town, quiet, broken, forgotten. Buildings stood like skeletons, windows shattered, wires hanging like vines. Cole parked the hauler near a shop with a red light above the door. He knocked 3 times, paused, then knocked twice. A small camera blinked on. Then the door opened. A tall woman with gray hair and sharp eyes stepped out. "Dr. Rami, you again," she said to Cole. "You only come when there's trouble." "I brought some," he replied. She looked at the boy in Lyra's arms. Her eyes softened. "Bring him in. Quick." They laid Tiv on a low table. Rami pulled out tools, bottles, and small glowing sticks. She checked the boy's eyes, his breath, his heart. Severe fever. His organs are starting to fail. He needs a stabilizer, and fast. "Do you have it?" Cole asked. "I might." She opened a cold box and pulled out a silver vial. "But this is old stock, might not be enough." "Try." She loaded the vial into an injector and pressed it gently into Tiv's neck. Lyra held her breath. So did Cole. 10 seconds passed. Nothing. 20. Still. Then, a soft breath. Tiv's chest rose slowly. Then again. His color changed from pale to soft purple. His body relaxed a little. "He's not out of danger," Dr. Rami said. "But this bought him time," Lyra cried. Her hands covered her face. "Thank you. Thank you." Cole looked at Rami. "Will he live? If we keep him warm, fed, and rested for the next 24 hours? Maybe." Cole exhaled. "Then we'll stay here." "No," Rami said quickly. This place is watched. You'll bring heat on us both. Then where? You need to disappear. Cole looked at Lyra, then back at Rami. I know a place. Outside, the snow started falling again. Lyra sat in the back of the hauler holding her sleeping son. She looked up at Cole. I don't know your full name, she said softly. Just call me Cole. Then thank you, Cole. He nodded and turned the wheel. In the distance, red lights began to flash on the horizon. They had bought time, but danger was coming. A race against the sun. The night wasn't over. The sky was dark, but red lights glowed far behind them. Patrol drones had started searching. They were too close to the border, too close to trouble. Cole gripped the controls of his hauler tighter. His eyes stayed locked on the path ahead. The engine groaned as it hovered low over the cracked ground. In the back seat, Lyra held her son Tiv, who was now resting quietly under Cole's red jacket. His breathing had improved, but only slightly. He's burning again, Lyra whispered. His skin is hot again. Cole didn't answer. He was thinking. The medicine had worked, but not enough. The boy needed more, a second dose, and fast. But there was no time to go back to Dr. Rami. She had already taken a risk helping them once, and staying there would have meant arrest, or worse. Lyra looked out the window at the lifeless lands beyond the city walls. Where are we going? Cole took a deep breath. To a place I said I'd never return. 20 minutes later, the hauler landed in a forgotten part of the wastelands. Once this area had been full of machines, tech traders and scrap runners. Now it was just piles of metal, broken signs, and silence. They stopped in front of a crumbling old bunker. Lyra stepped out and followed Cole, holding Tiv tight against her. What is this place? This, Cole said, is where they stored old war stock. Medical gear too dangerous or too rare to sell. He punched in a code on a rusted keypad. Nothing happened. He hit it with his fist. Beep. The door creaked. Open inside was cold, dark, full of dust and the sharp smell of oil. Flashing his small light around, Cole moved fast. He seemed to know exactly where to go. Wait here, he told Lyra. No, she said. I stay with him, but I stay with you too. Cole glanced at her and nodded. They moved deeper inside. Metal cases lined the walls, some broken, some still sealed. Cole opened the first crate. Empty. Second. Empty. Third. Yes. A silver vial sat inside foam padding. Still sealed. Labeled in red letters. X-17. Alien Pediatric Immune Support. This is it, he said. He pulled out the vial, but just as he turned, a sudden sound. Clang. Something moved in the shadows. Cole froze. A metallic voice echoed from the hallway. Unauthorized access detected. State your name and intent. An old security drone hovered in front of them, small but armed. Its lens glowed red. Cole held up his hands. Don't shoot. Just taking emergency medicine. Kid's sick. The drone paused. Alien life form detected. Theft of property. You are violating sector law. Before it could finish, Cole stepped forward. This child will die. Do you understand that? The drone scanned Tiv, who was still in Lyra's arms. A thin blue beam of light moved over him. Severe fever. Organ failure beginning. Emergency code may be applied. Lyra didn't understand what was happening. She only clutched her son tighter. The drone beeped again. You have 1 minute, then leave. Cole didn't waste time. He grabbed an injector, gun from another crate, loaded the vial and gently pushed it into Tiv's neck. The machine hissed softly as the medicine flowed. Tiv flinched. Then, he coughed. A deeper breath followed. Then another. Lyra gasped, her eyes filling with tears. He's breathing better. He's fighting now, Cole said. But the drone wasn't done. Time up. Leave this facility now, or be terminated. Cole grabbed another unopened vial, shoved it in his coat, and pulled Lyra by the hand. They ran back through the hall, the drone close behind them, buzzing louder now. Outside, the cold air hit their faces. Snow had started falling again. But it wasn't peaceful. It was heavy, fast. A storm was coming. Cole jumped into the hauler, powered the engine, and helped Lyra and Tiv inside. As they lifted off the ground, the first gust of wind hit the vehicle. "Hold on," Cole warned. The hauler shook and climbed higher. Behind them, the drone stopped at the door, watching as they vanished into the night. An hour passed. They flew above frozen hills and blackened forests. The storm followed them, never far behind. Inside, Lyra held Tiv close. His skin had cooled. His eyes opened, just a little. "Mama?" he whispered. Lyra almost dropped him. She kissed his forehead again and again. "Yes, baby. Mama's here. Mama's here." Cole didn't speak, but he smiled. They were alive. For now. As they reached a hidden cave in the side of a hill, Cole landed the hauler and shut it down. "No one comes here," he said. "We'll rest here until morning." Lyra looked at the sleeping boy. "You saved him." "No," Cole said quietly. "We did." And outside, the storm howled, but could not reach them. The choice in the dust. The cave was quiet, dark, and dry. Cole had lit a small fire near the back wall. He placed a blanket over Tiv, who now slept peacefully, his chest rising with slow, steady breaths. Lyra watched her son like a hawk. She had not stopped staring since his fever went down. But Cole was restless. He paced near the entrance, staring out at the cold wasteland beyond. The storm had passed, but something else was coming. He could feel it. He always trusted his instincts. Suddenly, his radio crackled. "Cole, this is Patrol Unit 6. Your ID pinged near old storage." "That area is restricted." Cole grabbed the device but didn't answer. Then the voice came again. "We know you took something. Return immediately or be marked as hostile." He turned the radio off. Lyra stood up. "They're coming, aren't they?" Cole nodded. "Maybe not yet, but soon. We don't have much time." He opened his jacket and pulled out the second vial. The last one he stole from the bunker. It was still sealed, glowing faintly in the dim firelight. "This is the last dose," he said. "If his fever returns, it might save him again. Or if he crashes in the next few hours." Lyra stared at it. "But what if we're found?" "I know another child," Cole whispered. "A girl. She's dying too. Her family is hiding in the deep mines. If I give this to them, I might save her." Lyra froze. "You want to give Tiv's chance? To someone else?" Cole didn't answer right away. He looked at the boy, then at the fire, then at the vial in his hand. "I don't know," he finally said. "I don't want to choose." Lyra stepped back. "He needs it. He's just a child." "So is she." Silence filled the cave. Lyra sat down slowly. "I understand now," she said quietly. "Understand what?" "Why humans are dangerous. Not because they're cruel, because they care, and caring always costs something." Cole sat across from her. "You think I'm cruel?" "No," she said. "I think you're kind. Too kind." Outside, the wind howled again. Cole stood. "I'm going." "To the girl?" "Yes. I'll try to be back before sunrise." He grabbed a bag, loaded the vial, and slung it over his shoulder. Lyra didn't stop him, but as he turned to go, she said, "Cole, thank you. No matter what happens." He looked back once, then disappeared into the night. The journey to the mine was long and cold. Cole's hauler couldn't fly through the narrow canyon, so he walked. Snow crunched beneath his boots. The stars above offered little light. He followed broken signs and twisted rocks until he reached an old entrance, barely wide enough to crawl through. Inside, the tunnels were tight and dark. But Cole had been there before. He knew the way. He finally reached a chamber with a weak light glowing from a heat lamp. A small group of aliens sat near a fire, their eyes full of fear. A woman stepped forward. Cole? He nodded. Where is she? They led him to a small corner. A young alien girl, maybe 3 years old, lay on a bed of cloth. Her breathing was shallow, her skin pale. Her mother held her hand, whispering softly. Cole knelt and pulled out the vial. This might help her, he said. Are you sure? He thought of Tiv, of Lyra's eyes, of that small whisper. Mama, in the cave. No, Cole said, but I have to try. He gave the injection. Minutes passed. Then the girl coughed. Her mother gasped. She kissed her daughter's head, crying quietly. Cole stood. You need to move her soon, he said. Take her to the forest ridge, hide there. The family thanked him, but Cole didn't stay to hear it. He turned and left. By the time he returned to the cave, it was almost dawn. The sun's first light touched the edge of the hills. Inside the cave, Lyra still sat by the fire, holding Tiv. Cole entered quietly. Lyra looked up, her face pale. He had a fever again an hour ago, she whispered. It passed, somehow. I used wet cloth, wrapped him tight, prayed. Cole walked over and sat beside her. You gave the vial away, she said softly. Yes. You made the right choice. Cole said nothing. He just looked at the sleeping boy, alive. Outside, the light grew stronger. In the dust and ashes of this broken world, a small warmth remained, because someone, just one someone, chose kindness, even when it hurt. The injection and the silence morning came slow, like a shadow pulling back. The sky turned from black to dark blue, then soft gray. A cold wind blew across the cave entrance, but inside, the fire still burned low, and the child still breathed. Tiv lay on a bed of blankets. His forehead was damp from Lyra's care. She had used every drop of water Cole left behind to cool him through the night. She did not sleep. She did not blink. Her hands never left her child. When Cole returned, his eyes were red and snow clung to his shoulders. You're back, Lyra said, her voice weak. Cole nodded. The girl, as she lived, I think. She coughed, she moved. Lyra smiled faintly. Good. That means you saved 2 lives. Cole walked to Tiv and crouched beside him. The boy's face looked peaceful now, but pale. Too pale. He's still not safe, Cole whispered. He needs food, warmth, time. Lyra looked at the last piece of bread in her pocket and handed it to him. Cole took a small bite, chewed slowly, then carefully tore the rest into tiny pieces. Open your mouth, buddy, he said, brushing Tiv's lips. At first, nothing. Then, slowly, Tiv opened his mouth. Just enough. Cole smiled. Good boy. Lyra covered her mouth to keep from crying again. The peace didn't last long. Outside, the sound of wings echoed through the air. Cole stood up fast. Drones, he said. They found us. Lyra's heart dropped. What do we do? He looked around. The cave, there was no back door, no tunnel, just one entrance. They'll come down, surround the cave. I can't fight them, Cole muttered. But they'll take Tiv away, Lyra said. Cole's jaw tightened. Then they'll have to take me too. He picked up his bag and reached inside. What he pulled out wasn't a weapon, but something stranger. It was a thin, clear injector tube with a blue liquid inside. The label read, X27 Emergency Freeze Serum. Lyra blinked. What is that? Something I took from the bunker, he said. Last resort. It slows the body, freezes the organs just enough to buy time. Works for all species. If things go bad, I'll use this on Tiv. Hide him in the rocks. He'll sleep like stone. Won't die. But won't wake up until someone saves him. Her eyes widened. Are you sure it's safe? No, but I'm sure I won't let them take him. The sky above the cave turned red. 3 patrol drones hovered over the entrance, scanning the area. A loudspeaker cracked on. You are harboring an illegal alien. Step out immediately. Cole stepped outside with his hands up. Don't shoot, he called. There's a sick child inside. He needs help. We're not here to fight. A drone flew lower. You stole restricted medicine. You crossed city borders. You aided a fugitive. I saved a child's life. Return the alien and submit for arrest. Cole glanced back at the cave. I won't, he said. Then everything happened fast. The drone fired a warning blast. It hit the ground inches from Cole's feet. Rocks flew into the air. He fell backward. Inside, Lyra screamed. Cole pulled out the injector and yelled, "Lyra, now!" She clutched Tiv tightly. No, please, he's breathing, don't freeze him." But Cole had already made his choice. He rushed in, pushed the injector to Tiv's neck and pressed. Click. A soft hiss. Then stillness. Tiv's body became very still. His breath stopped. His eyes closed tighter. A strange shimmer covered his skin. He's not dead, Cole said quickly. Just frozen. Lyra sobbed. He looks like a statue. Better that than a prisoner. Cole picked up Tiv's still form and carried him to a crack in the back wall. He covered the space with rocks and placed heat pads underneath to keep the temperature balanced. Then he stood tall and turned to face the drones. I'm coming out, he called. Don't hurt the mother. Don't go inside. The drones moved. Closer. Cole walked outside with his hands in the air. You can arrest me, he said. But that child, he's gone. You won't find him. The drones paused. One scanned him again. Another hovered near the cave but did not enter. A voice came from the speaker again. Why would you do this, human? Cole smiled, tired. Because he matters. They cuffed him, took his tools, took his ID chip, but they didn't search the cave. Not that day. Lyra waited until night. Then she uncovered the rock wall. Inside, Tiv still lay motionless, but warm now. The shimmer on his skin slowly faded. Then, suddenly, a small breath. Lyra gasped. Cole was right, she whispered. She held her boy close again. He gave everything, just so you could breathe again. Human kindness on trial, the holding. Cell was small, cold and gray. Cole sat on the metal bench with his hands cuffed in front of him. His red jacket was gone. So were his tools. A bright light hung above, always on, never blinking. The only sound was the quiet hum of the security field on the door. He had been there for hours, maybe days. He couldn't tell anymore. No one spoke, to him, until now. The door slid open with a sharp hiss. 2 guards stepped aside, and a tall woman in a black coat entered. Her face was hard, her silver hair tied tight and her voice calm, but sharp like a blade. Mr. Cole, she said, sitting across from him. I am Administrator Velra, head of border enforcement. Cole didn't move. I guessed you were important. You wear it like armor. She ignored the comment. You crossed restricted lines, entered an old military storage site, stole classified medical supplies, aided an undocumented alien, and saved a dying child. He added flatly. She tapped on her tablet. We scanned the cave, no signs of life. Of course not. You were too late. Her eyes narrowed. Where is the alien boy? Cole leaned back, tired. Gone. Safe. Far from you. Velra sighed. You're not a hero, Mr. Cole. You're a mechanic, a man with no power, no authority, no orders. You broke the law. Maybe your law, he replied. Not mine. Outside the cell block, a storm was brewing, but not in the sky. A video had leaked. One of the drones at the cave had recorded the whole scene. Cole standing outside, hands raised, shouting to protect a child, the line that echoed most across the net. You can arrest me, but that child, he's gone. You won't find him. People saw the fear in his voice, the strength in his eyes. Within hours, humans and aliens across the sectors started sharing the clip, talking, asking questions. Why are we arresting people who help sick children? Is kindness now a crime? Who is this man in the red jacket? Inside the courtroom, Cole stood in chains. The room was full. Reporters, guards, officials. Even civilians sat quietly in the back rows. Velra stood beside the judge, reading charges aloud. The defendant knowingly aided an undocumented alien, stole federal supplies, and resisted enforcement. The judge looked tired, old. His eyes, heavy with too many years of rules. Then he looked at Cole. "Do you deny any of this?" "No," Cole said clearly. "I did it all." A murmur passed through the room. "And why?" Cole raised his voice. "Because a mother was crying for help. Because a little boy was dying. Because nobody else would do anything. I'm not a soldier. I'm not a leader, I'm just a man. But I knew one thing, if I didn't help, that child would die." Someone clapped. A second later, more did. Velra turned sharply. "Order!" But the judge didn't stop them. He looked at the crowd, then at Cole. "This court must follow the law," he said slowly. "But sometimes, the law forgets what it was made for." He pressed a button on his screen. All charges dropped. Gasps filled the room. Cole's chains unlocked. "You're free to go," the judge said, "and may your kind heart stay strong." Velra stared in silence. She had lost. Outside the courthouse, the crowd waited. They held signs. "Help the helpless." "We need more Coles. Saving lives is not a crime." As Cole stepped out, flashes of light hit his face. Reporters ran forward, but he didn't stop for interviews. He looked toward the horizon, toward the hills, toward the cave. That night, Cole returned to where the fire had once burned. He entered slowly. Lyra was there, sitting beside the rock wall. Tiv was awake now, smiling, small, weak, but alive. He ran to Cole with short steps and hugged him tight. "You came back," the boy said. Cole knelt down. "Told you I would." Lyra wiped her eyes. "You were arrested. I thought they let me go." "Why?" He smiled softly. "Because kindness finally spoke louder than silence. The child who lived." The sun rose quietly over the hills. Golden light touched the cave's rocky mouth as warmth slowly crept in, chasing away the cold of so many nights. The frost on the ground melted drop by drop. Inside, Tiv sat beside the fire, with a stick in his hand, gently poking the glowing coals. His cheeks had color now, his small body still tired but no longer weak. Lyra watched him closely, like she always did. But now her hands didn't tremble. Her eyes weren't filled with fear. They were full of peace. She had made it. He had lived. Behind her, Cole placed a metal cup on the fire. "I found powdered soup in the old ruins," he said. "Might taste like burnt paper, but it's hot." Lyra smiled gently. "He'll eat anything now." Tiv looked up at Cole. "Even dirt soup if you make it." Cole laughed. "Deal." Later that day, the three sat outside the cave, watching the sky. Tiv curled, up on Lyra's lap. She ran her fingers through his hair slowly. Cole sat beside them, arms resting on his knees. He looked up at the clouds and let the silence stretch. "Do you think it's over?" Lyra asked. "No," Cole said. "But we have time now. Time to plan. Time to live." Lyra nodded. "No more running?" "Maybe a little." He smirked. "But not today." Word had spread. In towns and cities, on human and alien channels, Cole's story had become a spark. People began questioning the rules. Laws were reviewed. Some loosened, some removed completely. One news story called him the man who chose compassion. Another simply called him the one who stopped walking. But Cole didn't care about stories. He only cared that the boy was alive. One afternoon, while the sun was high, Tiv stood at the edge of a small river nearby. He had never seen water so clear before. His reflection looked back at him, a boy with scars but also with strength. "Cole," he shouted. "Come see." Cole walked over and stood beside him. "You see that?" Tiv pointed at a small fish swimming below. It's like magic. Cole nodded. So are you, buddy. Tiv looked up. I'm not magic. Cole crouched beside him. You were dying. You didn't give up. That makes you stronger than most. Tiv thought about it, then smiled. That evening, Lyra sat by the fire again. This time she wasn't alone. Cole was fixing a broken light panel and Tiv was stacking small stones in a silly tower. Lyra spoke quietly. I've lost people, she said. Many. My mate, my parents, a brother. War took them. Disease. Starvation. I thought Tiv would be. Next, Cole didn't look up. But he's not. No, she said, because of you. Cole finally looked at her. No, he said softly. Because of you. You didn't stop fighting for him. I just helped. They looked at each other for a long moment. Then Lyra said something she hadn't said in years. Thank you. For giving me a future again. Weeks passed. The cave became more like a home. A roof was added. Old panels brought light. Cole built a heater from scrap. Lyra fixed a food recycler. Tiv laughed more, ran more, spoke more. Then one morning, as the sun broke, over the trees, Lyra stepped outside and called to Cole. He turned. She walked forward, holding a bundle in her hands. What's this? He asked. A gift, she said, from me and Tiv. Inside the bundle was a cloth, and wrapped in it, a badge. It was old, metal, scratched, but polished clean. It showed the symbol of a human rescue corps. Cole blinked. Where did you find this? Tiv did, buried under the snow near the mine. Said it reminded him of you. Cole smiled slowly. Guess I've been drafted again, he joked. Lyra looked up at him. You saved one boy, but there are many more. Human and alien. Cole nodded. Then let's go find them. As the sun climbed higher, the small family packed supplies. They didn't say goodbye to the cave. It wasn't an ending. It was a beginning. They didn't know where the road would take them, or who they would meet, or what dangers would rise again. But they knew one thing. They had each other. And that was enough. Because somewhere out there, someone else would cry for help. And this time, someone would come. The end.